Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio. Your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Howdy, Reverend Laughlin here. We're on the Corner Bookstore on the USA Global TV and Radio Network. And I am super honored today to have Roland Friedl. Roland Friedl, I'm sorry about that, Roland, as my guest today. But before I get to him, let me just give you a real quick 1-minute synopsis of me. I'm a researcher. I research the human body at the cellular level, chemically speaking. I look for cause and effect relationships. I look at what causes things to happen. What can you do to stop it, slow it down, speed it up? Those are the kinds of things. But I pay attention to longevity, to age-related issues. And that's where my real passion is, something I came up trying to help my wife get through her chemo and other treatments about a little over 10 years ago now. And when I'm not doing that, I involved here with the TV host. I do some publishing. I do a lot of different things. But one of the things I really and truly love to do is to get involved chemically with the human body so that I can pass on information. So later on today, in fact, actually the next show, normally I do 3 shows in a row, and the last one's called Talking Heads. We're flip-flopping today to accommodate a schedule. And so I'll be talking about stress, health, and aging next. And it's amazing what stress does to our body. So that being my intro, let's go ahead and get into Roland. Roland is an author, an entrepreneur, a father, husband, all the rest of that stuff that comes with just getting older and older and older. But more so than anything else, he's a world traveler in a sense. He has an RV over there in Europe. I think he lived in Mallorca for over a dozen years. And now he just drives wherever he wants to drive in Europe and parks it there and has an amazing time. And he's also another TV host here on the USA Global TV and Radio Network. And he does shows in English and in German. So, Roland, please join me up here on stage.
Hello, Red.
Hello there, Roland. You know, I don't know too many Rolands, but way back when I was a kid, they had the show. I'm sure you probably heard about it called Roland. Anyway, the theme song is Roland, 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 keep them doggies rawhide. Anyway, so I hear the name Roland, and that song comes to my mind. Roland, Roland, Roland. Anyway, I know that you just published a new book because I helped you do it. And that's part of our show today here on the Corner Bookstore. But before we do that, I want to give people a little flavor of who Roland is. Like I said, I know you lived in Mallorca for quite a while, and then you decided to do the drive around Europe. So tell us a little bit about Mallorca. Tell us a little bit about your RV and your excursions through Europe before we get started today.
Yeah. Thank you. First of all, thank you for having me here, Red. It's an honor and a pleasure to be on your show. Thanks a lot. And hello to our audience. Yeah, my name is Roland. I'm from Austria, a little small country, the heart of Europe. Unfortunately, we started World War I and World War II, but we're still a proud small some proud small folks in the middle of Europe. Yeah, Roland, my identity, I always say I'm a human being. I'm a man, I'm a lover. I'm a father of 3 kids, and I guess the actual number is 4 grandkids, something like that. Yeah, in the meantime. Yeah, that's about me. I had a long business career in different stages. As a youngest member of board of director in a huge company. Then I started my own businesses in different areas. Long story short, some have become very successful, some failed, which was a lot of learning. This is my website. So I have a long experience that I shared with multiple companies all over the globe. So I traveled the whole world and delivering mainly leadership training and sales trainings to big tech companies in 3 languages. So I facilitated in German, in English, and in Spanish. Yeah, that's so my background. Yeah, Mallorca. I've always been traveling all the time. So since I was a student, I spent a long time actually in California, in Montecito, Santa Barbara. I was in Bali and other countries, and then for 14 years, my home base was Mallorca. It may sound a bit weird, but the reason for that, I choose Mallorca. It's a beautiful island. It's warm, but it has an international airport, even a better one than in my home country in Austria, in Vienna. So I could fly directly to my global clients all over the place. So even to the US, there are direct flights from the small island to the US. So that's why I moved to Mallorca. And of course, I could already speak Spanish, and it's warm there, it's sunny there, people are nice. So I've been spending there 14 years on Mallorca. And after 14 years, I decided to live a dream I always had, I always wanted to travel around in RV. But to be honest, I had a little bit fear about it. So, and then I said, okay, after, 4 years ago, actually on the 1st of April, it is going to be 4 years that I'm living full-time in motorhome and traveling in Europe. And at the moment, I'm in Sicily, Italy.
Almost sounds like I'm talking to Arnold Schwarzenegger's brother. With the Austrian accent there.
Yeah.
So, anyway, you wrote a book here recently, and the book is The Innovation Edge: 7 Steps to Grow Existing Accounts, Win New Ones, and Break the Status Quo. So let's go into that book and talk a little bit about what prompted you to write it. And I know it took you a while to do it because I've been following this book for a while. And let's talk about that. Why did you decide to write it? Is this part of your business strategy? Tell us about that.
Okay. First of all, it was always a dream of mine since I was a student or even was in school to become a writer. And I remember I was 16 years old, so my goal is to get the Nobel Prize of Writing as a writer. I was writing poems when I was young. I was writing lyrics I was playing in a band. We had a blues rock band. I was writing the lyrics for the band. I was writing for other bands. I was always writing, but to be honest, I always had the feeling I'm not sophisticated enough. I'm not good enough to write a novel or a book. And then I remember that we had a conversation, I guess, 3.5 years ago or something like that. And I said, Red, I know that you help Dr. Jacalyn with books and what you're doing. And I said, I want to write a book, but I think I'm not good enough. And I remember that you told me, and I said, Roland, but you love to talk. I said, yes, I love to talk. So why don't you start recording it? So I started recording the content of this book in the beginning. And after a while, I felt more and more comfortable in what I'm doing. And then I started just writing. And at the end, I was writing the book parallel in German and in English, but I decided to publish first in English. So to become a writer was always a dream, but to actually be a writer or be a writer, starting as a writer, or starting publishing books, it's about you, Red. I mean, Dr. Jacalyn absolutely encouraged me and is a huge role model because she's doing a lot of books. And I said, wow, that's amazing. And then you came in and said, you're going to help me and support me. So thanks for that. Thanks for that. Absolutely. To be honest, I'm not sure if I ever would really would publish a book without your encouragement. And yeah, and about the book itself, it's just the content the content of the book is content that I have been facilitating to mainly Canadian and US American tech companies the last years, face-to-face or online with the COVID. And, my delegates always ask me, Roland, is there a book available from you? And I always said, no, there are many other books. I was always, recommending other authors because I always said, no, I'm good enough. And they always said, no, write a book about the content. So finally, here we are.
Okay, so you wrote the book. Tell us about the editing phase, because I think that's pretty important too.
Sorry?
Editing. Tell us about what you had to go through to get that done. Oh
my gosh, you did it. Sure. To be honest, it's for our audience, listening, and maybe our audience is thinking about, I want to become a writer too. So what I learned during the process is writing is easy, but then publishing, editing and lecturing and editing, that's that's the most painful part. And yeah, you did it. You did it, right, my dear friend. You did it. The editing. I learned a lot of it.
I did very little. I just kind of kept pointing you. This needs attention. You need to, if you're not aware of something, you don't see it. But once you see it, okay, fine, yeah. And so our brains already have our book as we wrote it, even though it may not necessarily be the same. Somebody else sees it. Hey, what about this? And then I say, hey, Roland, what about this? And then you say, oh, that's not supposed to be there. And so part of it is you really need to have another set of eyes look at it, or you need to have a longer time in between when the finger stopped tapping and you actually read the book. Now, one of the things I do is I have the book read back to me in Microsoft Word. So I could sit there and I watch the yellow brick thing roll around all the words and I hear it. And even though I know what I wanted to say, that didn't sound like what I wanted to. And so I use that a lot for mine. And then I tried using AI for editing, but AI and the word edit, they don't mean the same thing in English that we think as writers. It really means to summarize. So, but like anything with AI, you got to tell it exactly what you expect. So if you say, I want it edited for syntax and diction and spelling and sentence structure and this and that and everything else, then you'll probably get something close. But I have about over a paragraph, almost 2 paragraphs that I can use to say, edit this at a 7th grade level, and then, give it back to me. But I can't give the whole book. I have to do a chapter at a time because there's too many words to do the whole book. But what I gained from that is the fact that it's read that, and now I can use that and say, now give me a good summary. I want a 1,500 word summary. I want a 500 word summary. I want a 100 word summary. And I can take those summaries and put them anywhere I want. So again, I'm using AI as a tool, not to free up to my intellectual property, but to assist me in what I'm doing. Have you found any use for AI in any of your writing?
It helped me to, not in this book. At the end, I already finished 5 books this year, but it's only 2 are published at the moment. It helps me to structure a little bit. And first of all, we'll come back to the editing. Actually, 4 eyes is much better than 2 eyes. And I think 1 and 1 is not 2, it's 4, 5, 6. It's much better. So for every writer, you need somebody who's reading over it. And I had a friend in the US, Brian, who knows the content. And I asked him first, and he did it already 2.5 years ago, or 3 years ago, I don't remember. When I finished the book or the content, and I said, can you just check my English? First of all, and do you understand what I want to tell the audience? Because he's from business too, so he did it. And then the book was finished, and I was not ready to publish it. To be honest, I had the fear, this fear inside, because as long as you're working on a book, you're doing something, you're active, you're doing something, and then you still have the hope that somebody will like it, it gives value to someone. But at the moment, when you publish it, when you release it, and then that's the truth. It's working on the market accepting or not. So I was really always procrastinating. Anyway, but you asked me about AI. The funny thing is, last year I rented how do you call it? A co-working space for 1 month. I had the feeling, when I live full time in an RV, I had the feeling I go to the office in the morning until lunchtime, and then I go back to the RV, and then I go back to the office after lunch. And I could really work a lot in this 1 month. And then I had 1 day off. And you know what I did? I was writing a 500 pages book just with AI in 6 hours or 6.5 hours. It's 500. And then I was reading it. I said, sorry, who the heck is reading this crap? It's not me. It's not me. It may be technically correct, but it's not me. And I deleted it again. So make a long story short, I love AI as an assistant, but not to be creative. It's me to be creative, but AI is supporting me to structure things and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, Grammarly is a good checker, and I find that I guess a couple years ago, that I could write something, put it through AI, get a pretty decent writing of it, composition of it, and then I put it into Grammarly to get a more human aspect to it, and then I would take it out of that, and then I would listen to it, and I said, okay, fine, that doesn't sound right. And so there's several iterations to that editing in order to come up with something. Yeah, that's what I want my audience to read or to hear or to understand. And so it's just not the mere fact that I'm telling somebody something, because there's a different mechanism that goes on here than it goes on here with our eyes. And so we have to accommodate what somebody is reading, because somebody may read at 200 words a minute and they're very specific. And other people applying through that 400 or 500 words a minute. Oh, let me go back and read this because that sounds important. So just lots of things in there that we need to account for. And as you say, we love to write, but we don't love to edit, but it has to be done.
Absolutely. It has to be done. And you know, because I'm a person, I love to create things, but I don't want to get lost in details.
Well, details. One of the details that we as authors neglect. We write, we get the editing done, we get our proofing done, we get our artwork done, and then all of a sudden we start to market our book. And so we've wasted months or even a year telling the world, I have this book coming out. When did you start marketing this book?
When I started marketing this book, I guess 6 weeks before the launch, something like that. Yeah, I guess 6 weeks before. When the cover was clear, more or less, I started to market it. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like part of our problem too, because you had a year that you could have been telling people, yeah, I got this book coming out. It's about this. It's going to help you. We have little snippets that we can throw there and post on wherever we want. But it's not something that we think about in time. All of a sudden, I'm done writing. I'm done editing. Now I can, concentrate on marketing. Yeah. I just went on a cruise, and it was for writers and publishers. And they're talking about, segmenting your time as an author, for marketing, for videos, for this and that. And it's just one of those, okay, fine. You know that, but you don't know that. And so even though I know it, I'm still trying to structure my schedule to accommodate that. Wow. So as an author, now that you have other books coming out, are you planning on doing anything differently about your marketing for them that you did for the first one?
Absolutely. Well, I have to say that I published a book in German. It's called, in English, it is Daddy, Where Are You? We have seen it also on Amazon. It's called Daddy, Where Are You? Or Papa, Wo bist du? It's a total different content. It's about, I guess, 20 or 22 men and women from 7 different countries, friends from all over the world. From the US, from Mexico, from Poland, from Germany, from Belgium, from Austria, from different countries, Netherlands. They wrote their own story about their non-existing dad, meaning a dad that they didn't know, a dad that was emotionally available, something like that. And I had the luck that the first publishing house just took the book and said, okay, we're going to publish it. So it is not self-published, it's published by a publishing house, by Freyer Verlag. And when this happened, to be honest, when this happened with this book, I got the self-esteem and I said, okay, now I got to contact Red again and we bring the other book on the market. So this book, these are the 2 books that are already on the market right now, the Innovation Edge, and hopefully the Innovation Edge will be published soon also as a German edition. It's ready to go. The Innovation Edge to become as a German edition. And I have 3 more books who are ready to go. Yes, absolutely. And what I learned is that next time I'm publishing a book, I will start much earlier with promoting it and bring my audience, my followers on a journey. Because what I did with the German book, Daddy, Where Are You? I started with a crowdfunding because I was not sure if you find a publishing house or not. So I started a crowdfunding. by the way, which didn't work out, which didn't work out. But I had a really good conversation with my followers who wants to promote the book and this, and that's what I learned for the next. And I can give this to every writer: is start early promoting it, bring a little bit text, make them follow you, make them wondering and waiting for the day. And I guess it's a lot of fun. I will do this for the next book for sure.
Oh, we're going to be going to a commercial break here very, very quickly, and when we come back from that, what I'd like to do is talk about your cover. You're a very photogenic, good-looking guy, and you have your picture there on the cover. So I'd like to get into how you decided that was what you wanted for your cover. So after the commercial break, we'll be right back and talk about that.
In a noisy world, true connection begins with listening. Elevated listening transforms every conversation in just 5 simple steps. Pause and breathe. Set your intention. Listen with curiosity. Reflect back. Agree on one next step. Join the Listening Mentor on Let's Finally Talk with Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, the Listening Mentor, where we help you find inner peace, one conversation at a time. Streaming every day, Let's Finally Talk TV show with Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, only here on USA, Global TV and Radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channels to watch and engage with all our content.
Friedl Laughlin here. We're on the Corner Bookstore on the USA Global TV and Radio Network. My guest today is a good friend of mine, Roland Friedl. I don't know why I keep saying Friedland. Friedl. Roland Friedl. Okay, Roland, please join me here. I apologize for twice now in this show screwing up your last name.
Most Americans have problems to pronounce my name correctly, but I'm just Roland. All good.
Yeah, most Americans have problems pronouncing my last name. I just live with that all my life. Anyway, your cover. Tell us how did you decide on your final cover?
On the final one, yeah. Actually, when we had the discussion, I guess 2 years ago about the cover, there was a different approach. And then my short-term girlfriend, I call her short-term girlfriend at the time, said, no, she helped me with the cover and said, no, you have to put yourself on the cover. People have to know who is behind it, who is it, because, I had thousands and thousands of delegates worldwide. And when they see the book, they recognize you. It's been you're the trainer, you're the coach. And I said, no, I don't want my picture on the front page. She said, no, go for it. So I said, okay, let's give it a try. Why not? Give it a try. Why not? And the photo this photo was shot by a friend of mine. He's not a professional photographer. He's an amateur. And it's in his home. We did this photograph and okay, let's use it. And then, why not? It's me, it's me. It's just me. But I'm still not happy, to be honest, to be on the front page. I'm still not happy.
Okay, so you got the cover done, and I think a friend of yours, or you did it. I think you did all the editing on all the cropping and everything else on that one, right? Yeah.
No, actually, no. I just follow. I had a different title. The initial title was "Innovation for Success" was the initial title, and then this lady said, she said, no, Innovation Edge. She came up with this, and she did the cover. And on the back, on the back side, I said I wanted, because I have 2 forewords from El Sini, who is also an amazing colleague here on USA Global TV and Radio. Thanks, El, by the way, for your really, I highly appreciate your foreword. And then Leo Bottari, who is a bestseller author, he wrote his foreword, and I made some chapters. And then I wanted Dr. Jacalyn on the back, because she's a dear friend and for me an absolute role model. And then Miki herself, and we said, okay, we want to have short paragraphs on the back, but to make it working for the book, I hired someone on Fiverr. Yeah.
Well, you be very careful if you're going to use Dr. Jacalyn as a role model, because 5 years ago she wasn't an author and got her first book done, and then all of a sudden I think some virus or some agent took over her body, and she's like 25 or more books already done here, just boom, 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 boom. So yeah, if you're going to use her as a role model, that means that by the time that we're rolling around here, we're 2026 now, 2030. You're going to have another 30 books to stay up with her.
My goal is not to overtake your numbers on releases, but just keep going.
Yeah, from that perspective, yes. Great role model. No doubt about that.
I'm chasing her, but my goal is not to overtake her.
Okay, so where are you marketing your books? What social media do people find you on?
The best, I market on social media. I market it on Facebook, but mainly on LinkedIn because, LinkedIn is more business driven. And I also have contacts with former delegates and I send it to them. And yeah, that's what I'm doing. But mostly LinkedIn, a little bit on Instagram, on Facebook. Yeah.
Okay. You're basically somebody goes Roland Friedl and they'll find you on all of those social media sites.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. Yes. And on other ways, if you want to, people want to, order the book. It's on Amazon. It's available on Amazon. It's just easy. Roland Friedl Innovation Edge. So there are not many Roland Friedls on Amazon, I think. So it's easy, and they also find my German book there. And yeah, the book is available in ebook and as paperback.
Do you have a plan for an audiobook coming out soon?
A good question. I didn't think about it, but what I know is I got a lot of feedbacks from male friends of mine and said, Roland, do you have an audiobook? I love women are more readers, and I guess men are more, men are more listeners. What a phrase. Men are more listeners. Many women said, no, my husband is never listening. But anyway, I guess men want to listen to audiobooks. Yes. So it could be it will be a good idea. Yeah. With an audiobook. Yeah.
Okay, I usually ask my guests if they're planning on putting their book in a foreign language, and most of them don't have that as an immediate goal. It's something maybe down the road, and you're already, you're done with your German translation of this book, and we just need to get it published, and that's something hopefully we'll get done before the end of this month. But the other thing is, you speak Spanish. Is there any interest in putting this book in Spanish?
Yeah, 100%. After the German one, I will. I didn't start with the Spanish version, but the plan is to also to publish it in Spanish. Yes.
Okay. And is the next book coming out a sequel to The Innovation Edge, or is it something different?
Something totally different. Totally different.
Well, tell us about it.
It's going to be a book. Okay, be careful what I'm talking now. It's going to be a book about bringing back intimacy to long-term relationships, because I know a lot of people in my age who are married, and the juice is gone, the thrill is gone. They have everything, houses, boats, and whatever, but the thrill is gone. And I'm a family guy. I'm a family guy. Unfortunately, I'm divorced, but I'm a family guy, and I want to support couples who don't want to give up, to get the thrill and the juice back in their relationship. So this book is coming out, is almost finished. Yeah.
Well,
sorry?
Go ahead. That's pretty encouraging, because that's something we definitely need nowadays.
100%, because I strongly believe that intimacy and love, when we talk about couples in a long time, and sometimes, the juice is gone, sometimes they hope, it will come. No, it's not coming. You have to be active. You really have to decide, yes, let's do it together. So that's the book is encouraging. Don't wait for something, not just waiting and hoping that it's happening. No, it's not going to happen by hope. It's happening by action. And that's a book, and it also has a lot of tools inside to get intimacy back, and deep talks and stuff like that. So it's quite a big book. Yeah.
In 4 months, my wife and I will be together, married 58 years.
My gosh, that's a long time. Congratulations. Congratulations.
So it's something you have to work on. It's just not something it's a part-time job. It really and truly requires a lot of learning. It's like people ask, well, how do you stay married? So one of the first things I learned a long, long time ago, you married somebody for a reason, and then you marry them and you want to change them. And that doesn't work, because they won't change. That's who they are. And so you have to accommodate yourself to that. So whatever caused you to fall in love with this person. That's the thing that's really and truly important. It's not the fact that they, whatever, fill in the blank. That's incidental because you overlooked it. We went together for 3 years before we got married. Some people don't, some people do, but there's more than enough time there to say, okay, fine. But don't think you get married, you're going to change somebody, because that doesn't happen. Now, you will change, they will change. You'll both accommodate over time, because I think that's just part of normally being a human. We know what pisses people off, and we know what people love to hear and things. So, and as you say, you're working in that area, which I think is super critically important for many of us, and I can't see anything but a bestseller out of that one, because that really and truly, I think, is good in many languages.
Yeah, this book will come in many languages because everyone needs it, absolutely. And the funny thing is, I just opened myself. I bumped into an amazing lady about 10 days ago, and I started a new relationship. And I, from the first day, I opened up my heart. I told her my whole story, so she had the chance say yes or no, take it as it is. And I said, don't try to change me. The maximum you get is when I go for a pee, I sit down because I don't want to clean the bathroom.
But living alone, you got to do it anyway, right?
Yeah.
But no, there's just so many things out there that we as humans, we can accommodate somebody's poor behavior as a coworker or as a friend because we understand them, but we don't necessarily accommodate that with our spouse, and in some cases our kids and whatever. So there's just so many dynamics there, and we're never taught that in school. We're never even taught that in just it's like financial literacy or half a dozen other things out there, health and wellness. We just don't know what we don't know.
Absolutely. And especially in a relationship, you're much more emotionally engaged. So when somebody gives you feedback, the trigger is much harder. It hits you much harder because sometimes you really go into this trap when you get a feedback and said she loves me, or a good feedback she loves me, bad feedback doesn't love me, but it's just bullshit, But when you're emotionally really, sometimes it's difficult not to get triggered. Yeah, and that's why relationships are so complex. But I still believe in relationships. Although I'm 2 times divorced, I don't give up. I'm now become 62 this year, and I still believe in love. I still believe in relationship and families, and that's why the book is coming also, because it's all about love. It's all about family, and I strongly believe that the world is not getting better by pointing another country, pointing another religion, pointing another person. It always starts with ourselves first, then with our core family, then with our hood. And that's what I want to do, is bring peace to the world by starting by ourselves and our relationship and being in peace with our wife, with our spouse, or whatever. It's the first thing.
I'm going to be starting out my next show here, Talking Heads, we'll talk about stress, health, and aging. But my beginning talk is going to be talking about change. And I looked at Sun Tzu, I looked at Confucius, I looked at Julius Caesar, I looked at several different people. I picked a couple because we don't know, as I said earlier, what we don't know. And one of those is stress and how it affects us. And we end up burnout. And you look at, I'm sure in the companies that you've dealt with, at any given time, a third, a half, or more of the people, the workers, the managers are approaching burnout, and they don't even know it. And they go home, and now they're burned out, and that residual emotional baggage is carried into the home, carried into the kids, the relationship at home. We don't know what we don't know, but we should know more. And it's anyway. So I think you're absolutely right in that.
Yeah. I'm staying positive, it's all about staying positive. I mean, there's so much stuff around, when you look at the economic way, COVID, economic war, the energy crisis, and everything that's going on. But I strongly believe that we shouldn't be distracted by all the stuff that's going on. It's be in the family, be in the hood, and everything is good. And I had a long conversation before I left Austria because I moved to Sicily end of October, because I love to spend the winter here. And my auntie, she's 86, and I asked her about the war and stuff like that. And because she has been living in World War II, and I said, how did you perceive it? And she says, well, you know what? I'm in the countryside. I'm far away from cities. Nothing. It's just cool. Just stay cool. You know, it's, they care about your family. They care about your beloved ones, and it's going over. You know, so many regimes are coming and going. So many kings and presidents and prime ministers are coming and going. Life is going on. And they care about the family. And yeah, it's bad what's happening in other countries. You know, people are suffering there, but people are so distracted. Yeah. By following this mainstream media instead of taking care about their own beloved ones.
You're talking about being critiqued a little while ago, and some people can take critique very well, others can't. But it's also how it's done. You know, I'm upstairs in my office. My wife's downstairs watching this live on TV, and I'll come by and ask her, you know, well, how did I do? And she'll always tell me I speak too fast. You know, and I know that's a problem. I try to slow down, but I just can't make it happen. It's just not part of my physical ability sometimes. But I do get really good feedback from her on, oh, I didn't know that. Okay, fine. Thank you. I appreciate that. And so it's a matter that you need feedback to improve. Like you talked about early in the show, some of your companies didn't do so well, but they were great learning experiences. And I think that's true. You know, that's what the dating period is for before you get married is, you know, I learned something. I don't want to do that over again or whatever. And you said, you know, you met this, I'm going to say young lady for lack of a better word, 10 days ago, and you were open so that there was nothing hidden there, you know, from day one, so to speak. Okay. We learn from our mistakes and we try to improve ourselves over time. And that's what you're doing now with your writing. You've learned so much over time. Now you're giving back to the world those gems, those things that really need to be passed on.
Yeah, absolutely. And what also helped me in writing is I was reading a book from how is the guy called? You know, he's writing all these horror stories. Stephen King. I never wrote a book of it because I don't like horror. Not at all. I don't like this kind of books. But he has been writing a book. I wrote. Actually, I had it in German. It's about living and writing. It was a little bit autobiographic, but he's also writing about his writing book and taking care. And I learned a lot from Stephen King, by the way. It was a really good book. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know the English original title, but this book also helped me by Stephen King. Even I didn't read a book from him because I don't like this kind of books, but it was very helpful. But the most what helped me is your advice and your support and your encouragement. And I cannot thank you. I cannot thank you enough. Really. It was a game changer for me. 100%.
How do people get your books? How do they get in touch with you for business opportunities?
The best way to get a book is go on Amazon.com and Roland Friedl, my name, and then you find my two books because there are not many Roland Friedls on Amazon. That's one way. And the other way, the best way is go on my website or RolandFriedl.com. From there, this is the book. Thanks to our, this is the book on Amazon. And this is my website. It's available in German and English. It's the so-called main website. And from there, when you scroll down, you can link to my SBS, Partner Performance Systems, my business website for international companies. Then here you have my LinkedIn, Roland Friedl. And yeah, the best way is send me an email at office@rolandfriedl.com. It's the best way to contact me is emailing. It's the best way.
And I'll let you go. Tell the world what shows do you do here on the USA Global TV and Radio Network?
Oh my gosh. I guess Dr. Jacalyn said that I did more than 500 shows the last 4.5 years.
No, what specific shows are you doing right now?
Right now, I focus on two German shows every Tuesday. It's the Macher Talk. It's where I invite people who are doers, not talkers. It's about doing, not talking in business, whatever. It's every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central European time. And then at 8 p.m. it's the Mutmacher Talk, which I started last year in September. This is a show about giving hope and inspiration, especially encouragement, to encourage people to follow their dreams and to live their truth. Because as I said, so many people are distracted and scared about what's going on in the world. And I want to give them hope and encourage them to live their life to the fullest. That's the two shows in the morning. And sometimes, I hope we can continue soon again, is a show I absolutely love with Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck together in English, the It's Your Healthy Lifestyle show. That's this one.
Roland, thank you very much for your time today, and we will get together. I think we're set up for Monday or something like that to start looking at your German book. But anyway, thank you for your time today. I learned a lot, and I thought I knew you fairly well. But again, we're always sharing good information with the world. So take care, and I look forward to connecting with you on Monday. Take care. Bye now.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Red and Laughlin here. We're wrapping up for the Corner Bookstore today. The next show starts in about 18 minutes. It's called Talking Heads. It's out of sequence. Normally it's the wise ones. But today with Talking Heads, I'm going to be talking about stress, health, and aging. So my show after that's going to be the wise ones. And I think Miles Spencer is my guest for that. Wish you all the absolute very best, and I will catch you again here in a very few minutes. If not, go to YouTube, the USA Global TV and Radio, and you'll be able to find any other live broadcasts and our archives. So take care, you all. Bye now.
USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents Tracy Cram Perkins, a dementia caregiving survivor teaching how to balance care with peace of mind. #1 resource for dementia caregivers. It's the book, Dementia Home Care, How to Prepare Before, During, and After. Over 17,000 copies sold of this must-have guide. And now a testimonial from Tracy Smith.
If I was to describe this book to someone who is going through a similar situation, I would underscore how important it is to have some sort of a tool or a guidebook to help you through certain stages. And there's so many, it's such an unknown topic to the average person. And to have this as a reference is essential. It's going to help you get through it personally, as well as help your loved one manage.
To learn more, go to TracyCramPerkins.com. Tracy Cram Perkins is an award-winning author. She's also the host of Dementia Home Care television show. Watch it here on USA Global TV and Radio.
Markets shift overnight. Technology rewrites industries. Leadership decides who survives and who scales. Real stories, real people, real business. Welcome to the Business Show on USA Global TV and Radio, reaching audiences in more than 60 countries and home of the YouTube Silver Creator Award for surpassing 100,000 subscribers. This is not theory. This is not recycled commentary. This is business in motion. Founders, CEOs, investors, strategists, operators, the people building companies, moving capital, driving innovation. We go beyond headlines into decisions, beyond noise into strategy, beyond trends into execution, growth, disruption, artificial intelligence, global markets, leadership under pressure. Hosted by Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck and Al Sini, the Business Show delivers direct, unfiltered conversations with the leaders shaping the future of enterprise. If you're launching, scaling, investing, or redefining your next move, this is your front row seat. No spin, no scripts, no surface talk. Real stories, real people, real business. This is clarity in motion. This is momentum. This is the Business Show on USA Global TV and Radio. Executive producer Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Original music score Yefe Tang. Videography and production Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication, or redistribution in any form are strictly prohibited.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USA Global TV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.